All right, it's recording. Hey everyone, I'm actually gonna turn the gain up on this because I'm gonna be pretty quiet tonight because it is 2:57. Oh, yeah, 2:57 a.m. Oh, Wednesday, February 4th, 2026. I just finished up the Fallout show season two. Um, Finale came out technically yesterday because it's 2 a.m., but came out today. I had a bunch of shit I had to do today, so I didn't get to watch it until just now. I just finished it like not even a minute ago, and I just wanted to come on here and talk about my thoughts. It was fucking excellent. It was great. Um, God, so much shit happened this season. Um, I think this episode was great in particular because throughout the whole season, there's this like theme of autonomy versus peace that's being set up mostly by Hank McClane, Lucy, the main character's dad, and it's being set up that like Hank is stealing people's autonomy, hitting them with fucking lobotomy gun, and in exchange, they're not fighting anymore. And the main example that we get is a legionary and an NCR member who are like fighting, but it's just the legionary being a cunt, and they end up both getting lobotomized. And it's a fucking terrifying concept. I mean, you know, getting a fucking injected with this is like what your average guy from Nebraska thought the COVID vaccine would do. Like fucking injected with it immediately. I love being treating people equally. It's yeah, the show did a good job of like the terror of it because oh my god, it was so fucked up. But good plot line, and that's the big plot line through the whole season is like the autonomy versus like peace in quotation marks, but or not quotation marks, and like Airfinger. It's weird that Airfinger means is like quotation marks, but is also like you know I don't know, but yeah, that was a good plot line. They set it up and executed it effectively, and that was pretty cool. And they added two very fucking terrifying layers at the very end of the video, or at the end of the season. I mean, so in episode 7, 6, 7, we see as Lucy's like walking through the vault, she sees like a head in like a fucking like a fucking decapitated head wearing like a helmet, and it is that's pretty fucked up. But she walks up to it, and I think that's like the cutoff for that episode. And then in episode 8, it's revealed that the head is alive, and not just alive, but a good person. It's the woman from like earlier in the show. She's like she's shown as like the one congressman who isn't a piece of shit, and because she's a good person, they fucking cut her head off and put her in the lobotomy machine as like the baseline for a good person. And that is one of the most fucked up things I can imagine. um, oh my god, it's such a cool plot, and they executed it really well, and gotta give them credit, season one I didn't really fuck with too much, but season two they did the thing, they executed a Fallout idea really well of like how do you want to build society, because at the end of the day that's what the games are about. Is this is how we rebuild society, this is how we come back from a nuclear fucking holocaust, this is how we come back. And it's about the different societies that form out of that and fight and shit. And this is a unique take on it because we kind of had it in Fallout 1. That was one oh I'm gonna scratch my nuts real quick. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. But that was a kind of a complaint I had up until this episode, was that this all felt like a rehash of Fallout 1. And there's nothing wrong with redoing plot lines, you know. If something works, why not expand on it, you know? But it's seeing it kind of morphed from, in Fallout 1 we had the Master, we had the Master's army, that in a way they were similar to this, because you know we have like the representative that gets like fucking beheaded, put in a lobotomy machine, and when Lucy walks up to her, by the way, she's just like, kill me, and it's fucking horrifying. um, it's more terrifying in concept, because I can't, it's such a fucked up concept, and it's really cool. Because imagine spending your whole life being a good person in a room of dicks. Like that, her whole thing was she was the one congressperson who wasn't paid for by like a private company, didn't have her campaign bought and paid for and shit. So basically, she's the one good person trying to fight for the good people of the world, is like her character. And to see that, like, oh my god, it's almost like I'm in a literary theory and criticism class right now, and it's almost like reading shit through like a Marxist lens, where you look at it and it's just like it's what's it called? It's that feeling of like, if you don't provide capital, if you don't provide something to the state, then you're gone. And I like that they kind of took, like the Fallout show writers, they kind of took that to the next level. They took it from just like, if you don't provide capital through like, you know, doing a job, to like, oh, they like, if we can't get our money from you like fucking working in the coal mine, then we're gonna get it from like, we're gonna get it from you by turning you into a little lobotomy bot 9000. And oh god, that was a fucking terrifying concept. That is, ugh, that's so fucked up, and I love it. Because you know, there's like, this shit probably happens behind closed doors somewhere in the U.S. Like, there's some fucking guy who's just being held captive in like Guantanamo Bay right now, and he's going through this shit. Oh, fucking terrifying. And what I love about the shadow government in this show, the Enclave, is that it's so believable, because you know they aren't nefarious in the way that they kind of are in Fallout 2, where it's in Fallout 2 the Enclave is very much just like kill them all, fucking 5 trillion, what's the Chinese hat that's like kill them all, 4.19 billion dead cops or whatever. Like it's not like that. Or in Fallout 2 it's kind of like that. Like, they have the greater plan of like execute everyone else and then build a world in place of that. But in the show, I like that it's kind of nuanced. Nuanced is the wrong word, but they take it a different route, where instead of making the people into, you know, fucking corpses, they they like put the little chips in their neck and make them into effectively fucking like robots. It is fucking terrifying. And that's one thing I've really enjoyed about the show, is the writers really get the concept of not just like generic capitalism bad, but because I mean that was a fine concept, you know, to do in your show like 10 years ago, but now it's like a little bit overplayed, and there's a little bit too much shit that's like not done it well, so people kind of shy away from it. But I think that it's so effective to show like not just capitalism bad, but like the world that capitalism makes is like fucking hollow. Like, these aren't people anymore. These are like fucking robots that have like fake smiles, fucking Walmart employee who like doesn't want to fucking talk to you, but it's just like, wow, how was your day? Do you want to pay for my fucking rent or not? You know? It's, oh my god, it's so fucked up. It's such a cool concept. And I like what they did with the vaults, where they made it like a white picket fence America, but underground, so that way they could fully control it. And it's like a closed ecosystem where they have full control over what you're allowed to think, what you're allowed to see, what you're allowed to believe. And oh my god, it's fucking terrifying. And I think that's the right way to do a shadow government, and I like I like the way they've done it. It's hard to do that shit right. I mean, hell, we've seen it done wrong before by Bethesda. In Fallout 3, it just felt a little bit in everything with the Fallout 3 plotline. It was just like they didn't really know. They didn't really do it too well. But it seems like with the show, they've been kind of redeemed it, There you go. And I think a big thing that helps the Enclave come off more fucking horrifying is the pre-war scenes with Cooper, where, I mean, they really are treated like the shadow government. Like this, in the show, they're treated a lot more like fear than they are in the games. And it makes sense, because in the games, they're the villain that you fight and kill. They're not a big, overwhelming force that you have to hide from like they are in the show. And I like that. God. And it's one of the rare cases where like taking a game series and adapting it to a show format actually helped it, because this isn't really something you could pull off in a game without it being frustrating, Like if we had to make a game version of this where it's like you play as Cooper and you have to like stealth your way through an Enclave base, I mean, that'd be more frustrating than it'd be like actually scary. And it'd turn it into more of a set piece than it would an actual like plot, And it's, I know, I don't know who wrote the show, because there's no fucking way it was Emil, what's the name? Oh, god damn it, I spilled my fucking Coke. God damn it, man. Do I have any napkins? Nope. Shit. Oh well, guess I'm just gonna have to fucking leave it there. God fucking damn it, man. I'm just gonna throw it on my shirt because I haven't showered for the night yet. It's 3 a.m. I have to wake up at 7:30. Oh, got it all over my leg. Okay, I think I got it all. It's Coke Zero too, so it's not going to be crazy sticky like regular Coke. Who wrote Fallout show? Graham Wagner and Geneva Robertson Dworet. Okay. Oh, created by. No, I want to see writers, not executives. Who did this? Cast. I'm not seeing anything. Wait. Okay, all of the names that are showing up on Google are showrunners. Writers. God fucking damn it, man. It just keeps showing fucking showrunners. Doing the fucking Riz. Who write this? Fuck off. It doesn't say. Okay, well, whoever wrote this, you know damn well it wasn't Emil Pagliano? Is that how you say his name? I don't remember. The writer for the games. Because, Emil, he did a decent job with Fallout 4. He did a really good job with fucking Far Harbor. But everything else that he's done, it's just been like, like, like Fallout 4 was okay, and then Fallout 3 was like it had some fun parts, but it was like not great. And I like that. Oh god, I hate to say it, but like Fallout 5, they gotta get new writers, man. They gotta get fucking somebody. Just because, we've had the same mid shit writing for the last 20 fucking years. Just make it better. You can. It's not that hard, man. It's I just want to see the games I love get treated well, and I don't know. But God, what was I talking about before I started talking about the writers? Something about the plot line. Uh yeah, the thing with the representative. God damn, that was terrifying. That was some of the scariest shit that I've seen in the franchise, and you love to see it. They took the plot of Fallout 1, but they actually they kind of they they took the ethical dilemma of Fallout 1, which is like, would you remove autonomy? Would you remove critical thinking? Would you remove all that if it means you get to live in a generally good world? It's a fucked up ethical dilemma because, oh my god, I mean just think about it. Like, would you rather truly be free in like hell, or would you rather be like just completely happy but you have no control over your own life? And it's such a terrifying idea of a choice because, first of all, there's no real choice in it because we have there's choice in the show. There's choice for like the main characters, but for like everyone in that world, there isn't really a choice. And it's a fucking terrifying plot line, and I really like the way they executed it. But in Fallout 1, the way they get around it, the way they kind of show like that the Master's evil plan is flawed, is they say like, oh, well, you think you're creating a perfect world with no autonomy, but like you can't actually have that world because the mutants, the creatures that have like no autonomy, they are what's it called? They're like sterile. That's how they get around it in Fallout 1. And it's such a fucking interesting idea of like and the show also has kind of went around it by saying like, oh well, it's actually not like no thinking but like peace. It's not that. It's actually just you're a slave for the Enclave now. And it's such an interesting plot line because like even then it's still a fucked up dilemma because it's like, whoop-de-dee, you have to work for the bad guy, but like now you have like genuine peace and happiness. And I mean, there's a lot of people in the world who would take that choice, take that chance, take that choice, and it's so fucked up. It's such a genuinely fucking revolting plot, but it's like in a good way. Like they executed it right, and it feels they did good writing that shit. And honestly, that's the thing that's made me the happiest this season. Is it feels like a real Fallout. It feels like a Fallout game. It doesn't feel like some shitty adaptation. It feels like they looked at the Fallout IP, they looked at the themes, they looked at the this, they looked at the that, and they said, we're going to try and make our own. And I fucking love that. God, they did that shit right. And, it's not perfect. There's some shit about this season that I disliked. The way they treated the NCR as kind of directionless, I didn't really care for. Same with... I kind of like their portrayal of the Legion as like falling into civil war. I kind of liked it, but it was kind of a strange thing. Caesar saying like, I am nobody, the Legion dies with me. That was kind of stupid. That was kind of against his character because in the games, it's clear that there is a true line of succession, and the show kind of shows that, but not. They imply that it exists, but they also imply that it's just like something Caesar made up. So, 50-50. I don't know what to think about that. God, it was a fucking long season. It was 8 hours. That's not that long. I don't know why I said that. I can't remember what word. I think I just fucked up my words. Not gonna lie. God. The way they handled House was interesting. Him being alive? Question mark. One thing he mentions that I like the implications of is he says like my body became a target, and he mentions like people hitting it with crowbars, and I just pictured the speed run clip of like the guy hacking the terminal and then fucking lobbing a grenade at House as he's opening up, and he just fucking I imagine the courier doing that, and I think that's kind of the direction they're going, is that House's physical body is dead, but that his brain got put in a robot or some shit. I don't know. We didn't get any side of Yes Man, which I didn't like. We didn't see a lot of people from Fallout from New Vegas. We didn't see the outcomes of really anything from New Vegas, and we didn't see too many familiar faces. The only people from New Vegas that we saw, if I remember correctly, we saw Victor, and he was just like chilling out in a bar pretty much, and I don't know. It was a funny inclusion. Take it or leave it. I liked it. I'll say that. We saw House. That was the big main inclusion. We didn't see any like important faces from the Legion or NCR, which I don't like. One of the big scenes in the season finale is our boy Maximus. Is that his name? I don't know. Is fighting Deathclaws in the Strip, which I'll get back to that plot line. It's weird. I don't know what to think about it, but he's fighting Deathclaws and he's about to die. And we see an NCR veteran ranger take a snipe at it and fucking blow it up with the anti-material rifle, which you love to see. I like that they kept the rifle cool. And it was kind of a reference to the one trailer for New Vegas where the guy is shooting at fiends, It looked like a reference to that, where it's like him in the same prone position and it zoomed on the bullet in the same way. Cool reference. Oh, there you go. There you go. That was the reminder. So that's when the NCR comes into play in a real capacity, and it shows them marching on the Strip and killing off all the Deathclaws and shit. And I like that, but they made the face of the NCR some random lady, and I don't like that. I wish if they had made it a character the gamers knew, but that the show people could adapt to, I think that would have been better. I think some good choices for that position would have been... God, who would it have been? Fucking Chief Hanlon from Camp Golf. Oh yeah, we get to see Camp Golf at one point in the show, and it's just not really doing too much. I don't know. I can't remember what they did there, but we get to see it, and I don't remember seeing anything notable about the Rangers, so it's like that might have been where fucking our guy gets the power armor from. I don't remember, but we didn't get to see too much. Fucking idiot. We didn't get to really see faces of the NCR. Like, we don't know what happened to Kimball. We don't know what happened to fucking anyone. And I don't like that. I wish we got more. I don't know. I got to give it to the show writers. Like, it's a hard line to toe of being like, do we want to make this nostalgia bait for fucking fat fuck New Vegas fans? Or do we want to make this for new people? You know, it's a hard line. It's a hard fucking line to toe. And no matter what you do, no one's going to be fully happy with it because, you know, there's people who saw Victor and were probably like, who is that? You know, there's some fat fuck in fucking Oklahoma right now sitting on his couch watching the show going, who's that? Who's that one? You know, like there's all kinds of shit like that. But, and if you went the other way of like keeping it just a fully new IP, then you kind of get season 1 where, you know, it just feels disrespectful to the old. And, you know, I kind of, it's a fucking hard line. So I can't get too mad at the show people for not hitting it perfectly, because there's really no way they could hit it perfectly. I mean, it's a fucking impossible task, you know. How do you make people who have enjoyed a franchise for some people, I mean, you know, if they're like OG Fallout fans, there could be people who like watch trailers for this shit in like 1996. There's people who could be like legitimately in their 50s and played this game when they were like 20 or 22. And, you know, you're never going to be able to perfectly please, especially fans like me who have had this franchise in their head for the last fucking decade, you know. You're never going to make them all happy. You can't. But the showrunners tried, and they did a decent job. So, you know, I'm happier with this show existing than I would be if it just didn't exist. And I gotta give them credit for that. They did some shit I didn't like, you know. Mostly just with the NCR. The way they treated it was just... It just felt a little bit fucked up. I don't know. The way they used the NCR just didn't feel very cathartic. But... And I don't think that one was an adaptation issue. I think... Because I think it would have felt weird. I don't know. I'm trying to picture watching the show without any real knowledge of the games. And it's... I don't know. It's like... It is a weird line of like, how do we make these people up to speed with like 50 years of fucking development? Because the NCR was also... A lot of people forget this. They were also in Fallout 2. They were like in their early stages there, you know. And I don't know. It is a tough line of like, how do we put these people in here correctly? It's difficult. It's fucking hard. And putting 30 fucking years of franchise history in the span of like one flashback so the Amazon viewers don't get pissed, that's fucking difficult. And good on them for even attempting it. God, what? Oh. They did an okay job, you know. I get that I'm fucking throwing complaints at them, but I couldn't have done this. I couldn't have made that shit. What else do I have to add? I like the ending of the season. I just remembered there was a post-credit scene, and it was like a catch-up moment for the Brotherhood and that whole plot line. And it was basically just the elder of the Los Angeles chapter, Quintus. He put out a thing, and he was like, we're going to rebuild Liberty Prime. There you go. And didn't really do anything for me. If you're a huge Fallout 4 fan, or was he in Fallout? Yeah, he was in Fallout 3. If you're a huge Fallout 3 or Fallout 4 fan, then, you know, that might have done something for you, but it was just a weird, underwhelming moment. And to make it the post-credit scene, it was just kind of like... Because it was at the end of a fucking excellent episode, I gotta say. And making that the like the ultimate moment was just kind of didn't really do anything for me, and it kind of brought it down a bit, if I'm being honest. God. Also, the Brotherhood that we get to see in the show is the same as the Brotherhood that was in Fallout 1, and I think they were in Fallout 2. Fuck if I yeah, they were. Oh my god. But having the Brotherhood, I don't know, they made them different from the games, which is a common complaint about the show. It's just shit is different from the game. And it's like it has to be, but it has to be for adaptation's sake. It has to be for the sake of like the audience that, because I think a lot of people are forgetting like the vast majority of the Fallout show audience probably has played 30 minutes of one of the games and just saw the show and was like, I remember that. And I feel like for someone like me who's a fucking pure autist, 100%ed Fallout New Vegas and 4, it's like, I get that, it's the what's the Oni Plays tweet where it's like, this is glub shitto? Yeah. Like, I think I have to like zoom out a bit and be like, this is my fucking glup shitto nerd brain. But I don't know. It's a weird line of like, do we keep all the glup shittos identical but make it a hard to enter esoteric thing, or do we make it easily accessible for new people but kind of lose the details of the glup shittos and kind of take the heart out of it a bit? And it's a weird line to figure out, and they kind of picked a middle ground, and I mean you have to, because you're never going to be able to perfectly continue a franchise unless you're just like the exact same team, the exact same creators. You're never going to have it be an identical one-to-one continuation or anything. But I don't know. They leaned into normies a bit in the first season, and this season it feels like they're kind of correcting and they're kind of leaning more towards the glup shitto side. And I like that, but also, I'm a fat fucking nerd with like thousands of hours in God. I have probably about 1,000 hours in Fallout 4 on my Xbox. I have, I think, like 800 hours of Fallout New Vegas on Steam now. And probably, oh god, I have so many hours in that fucking game on my Xbox 360. God, probably like 400 or 500 on there. I don't know. But like, my point is that I'm a fucking loser. I love these games. I'm a fucking loser for these games. And I'm trying to zoom out of my own brain and see like I'm trying not to get too fucking attached to like my glup shittos that I care about, and it's making it weird because it's like I don't know. I think honestly though, dude, I really hope you heard that fart. That was the funniest shit ever. But I want to zoom back in from the glup to like the glup shittos, and because, at the end of the day, I can be like, well, they did all right, but if it didn't personally scratch that itch for me, then it just didn't. But some things they did, I'm just gonna go back to the glup shitto side of it. God, they showed some of the factions from New Vegas, but not all of them. Some factions that didn't get included. They showed the cons in like one episode as a raider gang. I don't like that, to be honest, because I always liked the idea of the cons, like the ending where you make the cons go north into Wyoming. I always liked that. I always thought that was more of a fitting ending than just staying as like a tribe of fucking raiders. And don't like that the Fallout show canonized that it's, they stayed evil. Don't like that. God, they didn't show the boomers at all, which fair enough. They're like a weird. I mean, their whole deal was they were isolationists, so like fair enough to assume that they just stayed inside after all that shit went down. They didn't show the Mojave Brotherhood, which I thought was weird, just because. I mean, the whole point of or a whole big chunk of this season was dedicated to the Brotherhood, was dedicated to like Maximus, that whole plot line, and then his slow separation from the Brotherhood. And I'm fucking shocked that they didn't even mention the Mojave Brotherhood, I don't think. And I don't like that. They didn't mention or show any of the companions from the games, which I get that they didn't have too much of a choice there, but I wish they did, just because if I could see any of the 8 companions from the game put into live action, you know, like, dude, imagine how much more hype the show. Because you can't really do it because of the adaptation, but like, if please put I really hope Glup Shido comes to the next movie, you know? Son of a bitch, I'm really that fucking person now. I'm really that bitch now, huh? The fucking begging for Glup Shido on Twitter. Oh my god, man. And you know, it sucks because it's like I feel like a dick because if I, and this is fully hypothetical, but like if I had gotten my way and made this show and put in all the Glup Shidos and basically just made New Vegas 2, but this time a show, you know, it would have been a harder to watch adaptation because like you can't really do Glup Shidos without background knowledge. And that's why Star Wars has become like a fucking Tower of Babel into itself, where we have like all the fucking Star Wars shows and movies and the Filoniverse and all this. It's just becoming a fucking revolving Tower of Babel where with like 100 melting globulous faces that are just, you look over and it's like Ahsoka and then Mandalorian and Boba Fett and Glup Shido, you know. But Star Wars suffered the most from this problem, and I mean that's where the Glup Shido tweet came from. Was I think I want to say it was some tweet that was like Tar Vizsla maybe, I can't remember. It was some character, and it was like Glup Shido. Yeah, Glup Shido tweet. Yeah, here we go. It was just, the tweet was just, every time a new Star Wars movie, they spelled it without the S, I don't like that. Every time a new Star Wars movie or show is announced, all the fans are like, OMG, Glup Shido is coming back. Dude, I don't know, but you know, not Fallout. Star Wars had the most of that problem because, you know, there's a bunch of fucking characters that a bunch of people care about, and because it's one of the most easily accessible fandoms in the fucking world, like you don't even really have to watch any Star Wars movie because it's cultural osmosis. Everyone in their fucking mother watched like one of the Star Wars movies, or Clone Wars, or sees the Lego sets in Kroger, or whatever the hell. And when you get that ease of accessibility, it's easier to fall into Glup Shido brain, where it's like, you play one game, you find the character you like, and you go, ooh, you know? Like, the amount of fucking people who have begged for a Star Killer movie, or some shit like that. And you know Disney's not going to do it because it's like a little bit too hard into Glup Shido. But honestly, Disney Star Wars has done like... They've leaned a lot less into nostalgia than people think they have. It's just that it's fucking impossible to continue a franchise without like 5,000 80-year-olds just being like, whoa, that's my character, you know? It's like... what can you do? Like, there's really no good answer, because if you stray off onto your own, stray off, make your own plot, make your own whatever, then it's going to seem like you're disrespecting the originals. It just is. If you try and stick too close to the original shit, you end up with the sequel trilogy. If you try and make that middle line, you end up with like the Filoni shit, where it's like it's most of it's pretty good, to be honest, but like it like leans a little bit too heavily on prior knowledge, and it's just there's no right or wrong answer, because all of them are bad and all of them are going to piss off thousands of people. And I think it's impressive that Fallout is hitting that point where their Fallout is having its own like outside of universe ethical dilemmas on how to treat the story. And I think it's so fucking interesting. And everyone has their 2 cents on what they think should be done to the franchise. I do too. I'm trying not to lean into my own glup shitto, but like, I mean, it's a fucking weird dilemma of like, what do you do when you have a franchise that is so widely beloved by so many vastly different people that you really could do anything with it? And the answer is like, you do nothing. You can just sit on the franchise and do nothing and make everyone mad, or you can try and make something, but it's gonna piss some people off. It's gonna piss a lot of people off. And there really is no fucking good answer, huh? I mean, the best answer, I in personal opinion, would be like, just make something good, make a bunch of, as much as Star Wars isn't great, or like as much as modern Star Wars isn't the best, one thing they've done extremely well is just fucking throwing shit at the wall and seeing what sticks. And if what you like sticks, yay. If it doesn't, at least you got one thing of it. And I'm not saying Fallout should do that. I'm not saying they should put out fucking everything in its mother and just throw a bunch of shit at the wall and be like, do you guys like this? I don't think they should do that, but like, I don't know, maybe, honestly, the real answer is just like shorter development time between shows and games and whatever the hell, just so that way there's actual media for people to consume, as opposed to like where we're at now, where people have been stuck. The last single player Fallout RPG was 11 fucking years ago. Come on. Just make the fucking just make a game already. It's not gonna be that hard. Like, and I mean, it's been 8 years since fucking Fallout 76. It's been 8 fucking years. Can you believe that shit? And I don't know why it's like, I gotta crack my back. Oh, but it's just, I think, regardless of your opinion on the games and the shows or whatever, the longer we're left to fucking stew and dwell on it, the more beef in the fandom there's going to be. The more people are going to be discontent with whatever fans. Like Fallout 4 and 3 and 76 fans, it's like, whatever. But like, go to like any Fallout fandom site, like go to the fucking the wiki, go to fucking Reddit, go to Twitter, go to anything for Fallout, and you'll see just people fucking hate each other in this like franchise. And there's really like no community goodwill at all, and it really sucks. And the whole reason the community is this pissed is because we haven't had any, regardless of what content you like, excluding the show because it's a fully different thing, we haven't had any new content for 8 fucking years. And if you're a normal person who didn't play the multiplayer game, then we haven't had a true single player Fallout content. We haven't had that shit in 11 years. I was 9 when Fallout 4 came out. Think about that shit. I was 9, and next year I get my fucking bachelor's degree, And it's not even looking like, it is a practical guarantee that there will not be a Fallout game by the time I graduate. It's fucking ridiculous. And if we want to take it a step further, I mean, Starfield, that shit was what, 2022, 2023, somewhere there? And, I mean, if we just, oh, God. Let's go to Google. Let's go to Bethesda RPG releases. Starfield, I didn't care for it, but, they tried. Release date, here we go. Okay. So, oh, God, just fucking... Good God. Okay. Oblivion Remaster. Fuck off. Okay, they did the Indiana Jones game. Wait, no, god damn it. I'm just looking for... God damn, this shit is a pain in the ass to deal with. I hate the way wiki, charts work, you know? Alright, where? Here we go. Bethesda Game Studios. Alright, so they did... Yeah, Bethesda Game Studios. Their last... Yeah, it looks like it was Fallout 4. And... Oh my god, the way... I'm just trying to figure this shit out, man. Come on. God damn, this shit is annoying. Okay, well, I'm just going to assume it's Starfield then, because, yeah. Starfield. Starfield release date. September 2023, so 3 years ago. We've had Starfield for 3 fucking years, and I haven't played it because it just doesn't look like a game I'd enjoy. It just looks like Fallout 4, but they leaned even further away from the RPG shit I like. And it's just if they just put something out in the Fallout franchise, just anything, people are gonna... Dude, the next Fallout game is actually gonna get fucking consumed like a rabid dog, because nobody... we haven't had anything in a decade. And even if the next Fallout game is pure dog shit, at least it exists. And, being so starved for content, it's just fucking ridiculous. And... I don't know. I'm gonna take a drink. Oh, there you go. I think regardless of your opinions on anything with the show or the game, I just want Bethesda to make fucking something, because, a lot of people talk about indie games and being let them take their time to make a game or whatever, but I mean, Bethesda's thousands of fucking people. Bethesda has 500 employees at this point. There's no fucking reason they shouldn't have that game out by now. And, it's fair to say they shouldn't have to be pigeonholed into only making Fallout, Skyrim 2, Fallout, Skyrim 2, Fallout, Skyrim for Switch. They shouldn't have to be pigeonholed, but when you make a franchise that is so beloved, I think there is kind of a responsibility to keep giving people what they want, to keep giving people more content, because I don't know, maybe that's the fucking capitalist brain rot, but I want more Fallout because it make me think good, but it's just they haven't done anything in fucking forever, and I want Fallout to be good. I want Elder Scrolls 6 to be good. Elder Scrolls, I don't know what to think about it, man, because, I played the shit out of Skyrim as a kid. I mean, it's fucking impossible to 100% that game, but like, I played a fucking lot of that game. And to, I don't know, it's just, I don't like the way the game has, or the way that like all of Bethesda's IPs have just fell off so hard. It sucks, it's hard to watch. And there's this interesting thing that really pisses me off is this like recent idea of like people get pissed when the franchises they liked as a kid are bad now, and it's whatever. It's like, Fallout, if I'm being honest, just kind of fell off. I played New Vegas on the 360. I played 3 on the 360. I don't think I ever beat 3, but I played through it like a little bit. But New Vegas, I played the fuck out of that game as a kid. I mean, we're talking like I would have been playing this game in probably like 2012 or so, something like that. So we're talking about like nearly 15 years of growing up with this franchise and, doing whatever, changing as a person, growing, blah, 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 blah. And it's just like, what the fuck is happening, man? Like, no Fallout game is perfect. New Vegas, it's ugly as shit. I love it. It's one of my favorite games ever. The graphics are ugly as fuck. But, like, I'm able to enjoy it, but I look at the newer shit in the franchise, and it just feels like they've changed directions in a way that I dislike. And even though they still have some shit that I'm able to, like, milk for brain, I don't know what the term I'm looking for is. Like they put out a release, I milk it for fucking happiness. I milk it for my brain. And there's parts of the newer Fallout games that I like. Fallout 4, Far Harbor, fucking excellent. Far Harbor, absolutely amazing. Fucking, but it's Fallout 3. I want to get into Fallout 3 just because it's the one Fallout game I've never really deep dived into, Like even the fucking the top-down RPG Fallouts I've gotten into. Like did a full playthrough of Fallout 1, fucking loved it. Did like half a playthrough of Fallout 2, liked it. And it's just like Fallout 3 is the one that I've just never been able to get into. And even 76, I put in like 100 hours on that fucking thing. And after that, I was like, yeah, I'm done. Because, I had a funny realization where I was like, I was playing Fallout 76 and I was just like, man, enemies still die at about the same pace as when I started this game 100 hours ago. And now I'm like 50 levels higher. And it's just like, why the fuck am I bothering to level up when it's just not a satisfying game to play? And because the Bethesda games lean a little bit harder into the gameplay side instead of the RPG side. So if the gameplay is more, if there is more game per game, then why is it then why is that made less satisfying, And I think that's why 76 just wasn't good, to be honest. It just felt like a worse version of Fallout 4, It's not even a Bethesda versus Obsidian or Bethesda versus whoever. It just felt like Fallout 4 but worse. And I'm really hoping Fallout 5, whenever that shit comes out, please be good. Fucking please. I just want it to be, even if it's just Fallout 4 again, like a mid story that's like with some moments that poke out as good. Even if they just do that but make the gameplay a little bit better, fucking seal of approval, man. It's a low bar because it's a low bar, but it shouldn't be, because this is a company of hundreds of people busting their ass to make these games. And how on earth is it getting worse? And the answer is like enshittification, fucking corporate bloat, whatever. But that all that shit is bullshit. Like Like there is no legitimate reason, and it's fucking ridiculous that the series I love has fell off so hard. And with the show, they kind of proved like, yeah, we can still make good shit in the Fallout IP, and I think being shown that has put like a fucking glimmer of hope in my fucking head, and I hate it because I know I'm gonna be disappointed with this franchise again someday, and it's okay, regardless of whether Fallout 5 comes out, it's shit. Fallout 6 comes out, it's shit. Whatever. New Vegas, still goated. 4, still good. 76, still shit. you know? Like, regardless of all of that shit, it's like, I'm still going to love the older games. But, it does kind of add a layer. It adds, like, a layer of shit that's, like, it's almost like if you were in a movie theater and like they're adding more oil to the floors prior to you walking in. Like it doesn't make the movie any worse. It just makes but you're still gonna be thinking about your fucking shoe covered in like popcorn oil and shit. Like you're still gonna feel it, and it's not gonna ruin the movie, but it's gonna make like navigating around it kind of fucked up. I hope that's a good analogy because. Honestly, ever since I've played New Vegas, it's just made it hard for me to play our other RPGs because New Vegas is like it perfectly hit like this is the one for me. This is the one that I love. This is the shit that I like. And now it's like I try and play any other type of RPG, like some more esoteric shit, JRPGs, fucking hell, even like turn-based shit, like fucking Earthbound or goddamn, oh god, what's the name? Fear and Hunger, like shit like that. And it's like everything that isn't Fallout that I try and get into, there's just like a little glint in the back of my head that's like I could be playing Fallout right now, and it's better. It's literally the fucking I paused my game to be here, dude. One of my friends in real life, as you can see, I live in a fucking college dorm, and I'm a music major, so I go up to, like at the start of this fall semester, I go up to the band room for like day one of band camp. I look over, and there's this big fucking dude, big fucker. Looks like kind of like Jeffrey Dahmer, but like normal, if that makes sense. But imagine that, but like fucking huge, probably like 6'3" or 4, probably if I had to guess 350 pounds, big fucker. And he's wearing a fucking I paused my game to be here shirt with the Xbox controller. and he so I play tuba and he plays trombone. So like we're around a lot because we have like the same lessons teacher and shit, and we're both in like the brass studio, and it's so fucking funny just thinking about that stupid goddamn I paused my game to be here shirt. And he's a chill guy. He's a great dude. So it's so fucking funny. But it's just the way the Fallout franchise has changed over the years. I don't know. It just makes me wonder a lot of shit about myself because it's like, the whole Club Shido thing from earlier, and now like the I paused my game to be here, like the way the franchise is set up, it's just slowly made me look in the mirror and be like, what the fuck am I doing here? What the hell am I doing here? I don't belong here. I'm a creep. I'm a weirdo. Fucking shout out Creep Radiohead. Yeah, like they don't have enough fucking listeners. But yeah, I don't know, man. It's just the Fallout franchise is. I feel like it. I don't know. It's cooked, but like I'm hoping I'm still gonna stick around, see it through to the end and everything. I love these games. I fucking love these games. Same with Elder Scrolls, you know. I haven't. I was more into Elder Scrolls when I was younger, but as I've gotten older, I've just fucking loved Fallout more and more. And you know, oh my god, dude. When I was in my freshman year of high school, fucking, oh my god, that was 7 fucking years ago. Holy shit. That was in 20. Damn, that was in 2019. I'm, I'm so fucking old. Holy shit, I'm old. Yeah, that was. Yeah, that was in fucking 2019. Damn. God damn, I'm old. But, you know, God damn, I'm just thinking about how fucking old I am now. Because I was 14, now I'm 20. Time goes by fast, but also, you know, I mean, it feels like a fucking lifetime ago. But the reason I bring it up is I remember in my freshman math class, I fucking hated that class. And I honestly, I hated high school. And I'm really lucky that COVID happened my freshman year because it meant that, like, for all of high school, I did the first semester and then like a week of the second semester in person. And then my senior year, I did in person. So my high school education was basically just nothing. Um, it was weird. It was fucking strange. It fucked up my GPA. My GPA when I graduated was like a 2.8, which isn't terrible. It's mid, you know. It's not going to get me accepted into a fucking Ivy League, and it didn't, you know. I was never going to go that route anyway. I mean, you know, I'm at a state school with, I think, what does the term state school actually mean? I have no fucking idea. But I'm at like, I'll say it's a pretty good college. For my state, it's like one of the top ones. If we're talking like national, you know, it's probably like average. And I pay a lot less in tuition than people I know. So like, you know, shit turned out well for me in the end, but it's, you know, like sometimes I look back and I'm like, if I went to high school in person, how different of a human would I be now? And honestly, I'm really lucky that I didn't go in person because if you couldn't go look through my channel, I'm a fucking little freak loser, and it's like being alone for 2.5 fucking years effectively, being able to just like live in my head and live online and live as the human I wanted to be, it was so fucking important and it made me who I am. But the thing that like I just remembered from like the Elder Scrolls shit was, oh my god, my whole freshman year I would have earbuds in and I would be listening to this channel called Everness. I think is I don't even I said I think because I didn't want to feel like a nerd for knowing the exact name of the channel after 7 fucking years. But he did this series where he just recorded like rain and like sound ambiance in video games. And Everness. Yeah, oh my god, it's still got the fucking the goddamn, what's it called, the like the little red bar that shows how far you've watched into a video. Still got that shit after 7 fucking years. Oh, oh my god. Yeah, let's go back. Where is it? Where is this shit? I'm scrolling trying to find. Here we fucking go. Alright, yeah. Type in Skyrim music and ambiance, rainy night, and then night. I have so many, I have so much of that video just fucking memorized from sitting in math my freshman year and just head down doing my work, just having fucking. Let me play this shit for you. Let me click play. Yeah. Oh God, I'll keep this going in the background while I'm talking, actually, because it's such a nice soundtrack of just like orchestral shit and like it's so beautiful, man. And I really enjoyed. I didn't like school. I didn't really give a shit about high school. I didn't care about what I did there. I could recognize that it was fucking pointless. And especially for someone like me who's going into pure humanities and liberal arts shit, it's the very standardized public education in the US. It just wasn't right for me. I don't know what would be right, but I feel like I should clarify public education does more good than bad, and a lot more good than bad. I'd rather have like some of my early years slightly wasted than me be fucking illiterate and stupid, so just listening to the fucking background music, it's so nice. um, but it was difficult for me at school. I wasn't didn't have very many friends, and the ones that I did have weren't great people, and God, but that was the thing I struggled with a lot when I was younger, was being comfortable in like solitude and being comfortable being alone, and that's a thing a lot of my friends struggle with now. I'm very happy that I've gotten past it, because I'm gonna be real. Being able to sit alone, like in my upbringing, I was kind of forced to. It wasn't like I was a fucking Tibetan Shaolin monk. It was more like I was a loser and ate alone at lunch, and it wasn't heaven, but like I think being alone for so much of my youth really it forced me to become like content with myself in a way that it's really good for me. And because now it's like I've been thinking about it for like a year and a half now. A couple years ago, I had like two close friends I would hang out with every day after school and shit, and I mean college. And we would get done. She would get done with her computer science, and then like two of us would go hang out, pick up a third friend, and then like just a lot of like socialite shit. And eventually those friendships kind of just blew up, and life happens and shit. But and I was thinking about it. It's been 2 years that I've just been effectively just clocking in, going to college, going practicing tuba, coming home, sitting alone, playing games, watching YouTube, and then just going to bed. And a lot of people complain about that like fucking chud lifestyle, but I gotta say, I fucking love it. I love just being able to do some shit I like, come home, and just chill the fuck out. When I was younger, I still do struggle with loneliness sometimes, but it's not in like the crippling way it was when I was younger, where it's like I need people. Now it's just like I just sit alone, and occasionally I'm like, damn, I wish there was some bad bitches here touching me. But real, like it's not like that anymore. It's just like I'm just chilling out, and I think that's a part of the reason I get so like fucking caught up in big stories and gaming and shit like this is I just being able to experience a narrative alone, to me, is like some of the most magical shit in the world. And that's one thing that the Fallout series is particularly good at. Same with Elder Scrolls. Elder Scrolls world building is fucking crazy. Oh my god, damn. God, it's nice to just sit down and reminisce like this sometimes. But overall thoughts on the Fallout show, it's pretty good. The only complaint I have is it's a little bit too fast paced. I want there to be, like, I was thinking about this. There's really just been zero fucking downtime at all in the show. Like, I want shit to be dragged out a little bit more. And I get that it's an Amazon Prime 8 episode season, so it's it's gonna be like that. But God, I'm so fucking sleepy, dude. Yeah, it's 4 a.m. right now. God, what all do I wish about the Fallout show? Pacing way too fast for me personally. I think if they not dragged it out, but just slowed the pacing down a little bit, added a little bit more downtime, made it a little bit easier to just sit and watch it without like, God, I don't know. It's just a little bit too fast paced, and it's too fast paced for like the material it's based on. And we're back to the glup shitto argument of like it has to be like this, but I just realized desktop audio is muted, so you guys have not even heard a second of the Skyrim. There you go. Good God, that shit has been going for like what 15 fucking minutes, but it's just like the material that the Fallout show is based on. A lot of people forget Fallout is mostly a walking simulator outside of dialogue. Like there's gunfights and shit, but especially in like the more actiony Fallouts like 4, but go to New Vegas and like 90% of the game is just a walking sim from like place to place while you're like sitting and thinking about whatever the story's got going on. And it's cool. It would be hard to adapt that, but I think the way they just went polar opposite into pure action, I don't care for it too much. I wish there was just a little bit of downtime, because in the games there's so much downtime that you just don't get in the show, and that's what makes the themes and shit really set in your head. That's like when you finish a fucked up quest line, or when you hear some just horrible shit, you think, damn. And then you're walking along from like let's say you're in fucking Red Rock Canyon, why not? And you're hearing from Papa Khan about like the genocide of his people, which, you know, I'm not a fucking Khan apologist. They're fucking idiots, but you know what happened to them was still fucked up from their view. And let's say you're walking out, and let's say you're headed to fucking, I don't know, Camp McCarran, and you're just like walking, and you're just in the back of your head, you're thinking about that shit. You're thinking about that plot line. You're thinking about how it feels. And the show doesn't leave much room for that, and I don't like that. That's because to me, that's one of the most important parts of the game, is just being able to think shit through. And the show doesn't have that. But the show doesn't have that choice element that the games do, the RPG side of it. So, I don't know. It's a weird... Again, we're back to like the weird line to toe with adaptation. And I gotta hand it to the show people that there haven't been any real critiques of the show. It's just been like, yeah, it's kind of a weird line to adapt. That's basically been my only sticking point, is like, I don't 100% agree with some of the ways they adapted the show. And if that's my only real problem, then that means they did a pretty fucking excellent job. And I gotta give it to them. They did. So, yeah. I guess that's really my final thoughts on the show, is just they did a damn good job. Here's hoping that they keep doing it. Season 3 is going to come out in 6 months, something like that. So, yeah, cool. Here's hoping it's good. Yeah, fuck. It's currently 4:11 a.m. February 26th or February 4th. February 4th, 2026. As soon as this recording ends, I am fucking jumping in that bed, man. I am dude. But yeah. That's kind of all I have. Here's hoping the next game, show, whatever they put out next is good. And to Bethesda, for fuck's sake, get some better writers on the games. Bye. See you in the next video.